All right, welcome everybody. I'm so excited to be here and so excited you guys decided to take Sunday afternoon and spend it with me. Right now, I'm having some issues, so again, this is unmute. Okay, so let's try this. Let's start again. Okay, thank you so much for joining me. I'm super excited. My name is Heather Henderson. I'm a Young Living Platinum. I have retired myself from dog grooming. Mostly. I still groom a handful of dogs, so I kind of keep it in my blood. It'll always be there. You'll never look at a dog the same when you're a groomer. Once a groomer, always a groomer. So I had the opportunity to speak at the Young Living Animal Conference just October, so it was a little over a month and a half ago, on the farm in Utah, and I was asked to present as the groomer standpoint. And I'm going to bring that to you, and hopefully you'll take away from this something that you can share with your groomer friends, or if you're a home groomer or you groom your own dogs, or you just use shampoo on yourself, right? Because there's not a lot of difference. And I want to start off by saying, hopefully, if you guys have Netflix, you watch the movie Stink, or the documentary Stink. A lot of what I'm going to talk about just was proven again and again in that documentary that I was just listening to, and I kind of left my dogs to listen to. So back in 2000, I went to dog grooming school. Maybe it was 99, I'm not sure. It was one of those, I need to change my life. Things are just not what I want it to be. So let's change life. And I went to dog grooming school in Manhattan. I took the train into Manhattan every single day for 3.5 months, and I learned. And I loved it. This was my heart job. It was everything I needed and wanted in dog world, close to being a vet minus the blood, right? So it was awesome. I'm a dog mom. I have 3 dogs. I have 3 cats and a rescue guinea pig. Her name is Neroli, so obviously that's my favorite oil. She's a little white guinea pig. Everything I use in our home, I do not block my dogs from oils. I do not block my cats from the oils. They are all open to explore whatever they want to. I must say, though, doing this, we have a little disclaimer. I am not going to treat, diagnose, or cure any animal. These are my views, my opinions, what my world is like, and this is strictly coming from my point of view. And you can choose to do your own research, and like I said, I highly recommend you jump on and see the documentary on Netflix called Stink. If you are not using essential oils, or you need somebody to learn more about essential oils, that documentary will have you covered. As a groomer, we don't always think about the products that we use on the floor as being products that are being used on our animals, right? This could be a groomer, a veterinary clinic, a doggy daycare, anything that has pets involved with it. So normally when we clean a grooming shop, we literally make up our mop of cleaner. You throw in whatever chemicals you choose to use and throw them in the bucket, add your water, take the mop, and go through the floor. And usually what you're taught is mop yourself out, right? So you start at the front and you work your way out the back door, or your back door out the front, whichever way it works. And then you let it dry and it kills everything that happened during the course of the day. But oftentimes we don't think about what really happens. So when we do that, oftentimes there's residue left on the floor, right? It just sits there on the floor. And then what happens? In the morning you walk in the morning the dogs walk in, right? And they walk across that floor that may have residue on it. And then what do? We pick the little puppies up, say, okay, Fluffy's safe with me. They're going to be here all day, because most groomers are all day grooming. Put them in the kennel. Fluffy licks his feet, scratches his ears, wipes his eyes, scratches his chest or his arm, or continues doing this while you're taking the other dogs in, okay? There may be an accident, and you may have to clean that up a little bit. Again, you're spraying that area, wiping it, and you're not really 100% following the directions that may actually be on the bottle of cleaner that you have, right? Oftentimes the back has different directions than the front, because sometimes the front is just marketing. We're all about container reading, right? We want to see pretty flowers and all that kind of stuff. But when people are trusting us with their pets in our care, we have to do better than that, okay? So we're going to talk about that. But what I want to talk about most of all is those things that we spray in the air, okay? You know, those big cans that have, you know, what to say, kills colds and flus and viruses. It's disinfecting, and it's 99.9% kills all the funk in the air, blah, blah, blah. So that sounds great on the front. When you turn that bottle around, right in the middle, it actually says hazardous to humans and domestic animals. Show of hands, you guys ever read that on a bottle? It's there, right? But it's in doctor's office, it's in vet's offices, it's in daycares, it's everywhere. And the EPA actually classifies some ingredients in there as a pesticide. Okay, it's legal, right? If you watch Stink, you're going to hear this. That EPA is not really designed to protect us all as much as you think. But that warning is on there because they expect you to read it, and they expect you to follow the label. Just because it's on the store shelf doesn't make it safe. It just makes it on the store shelf, right? So this information that it's actually a pesticide is very rarely communicated unless you read that little tiny box that it is a warning, like, to the consumers. Like, consumers don't get it. They just use it very indiscriminately and use it often, and they don't realize how much health problems that is actually causing. So, you know, people don't use these products right. They don't use those cleaners on the floor right to clean up their messes and stuff like that, because if they did, it actually says on the back of most of floor cleaners that after it sits for 10 minutes, you need to go over it again with fresh, clean water to remove any of the residue and stuff like that. You need to do that. So if you're cleaning a high chair, a dog kennel, anything, your dinner table, if you're not then again washing it with water to get rid of the residue, you are knowingly harming yourself because you chose not to read the label on the back that told you how to do the directions. We just figured, oh, we grew up with Pine Sol, we know how to use that, right? We know how to use Pine Sol. Just put it in a bucket, clean, we're good. No, I realized when I grew up grooming, we did everything wrong. We did everything to poison ourselves and the dogs in our care. So I like to tell groomers, like, oftentimes we don't care enough about ourselves, but you should care about the dogs in your care because they're actually absorbing it and ingesting it. You may know enough not to walk barefoot in your grooming shop, but the dogs in your care are walking barefoot and naked in your grooming shop every single time. And then when they get out of the tub, those feet are wide open, those pores, right? They can absorb that stuff that could be on your grooming table. So you have to be careful with what you do. So we're going to talk about choices, but I'm just going to talk about tradition right now. So plugins. How many places have you walked into that service pets have plugins, wax melters or whatever they're called, but plugins, wax melters. And plugins, I'm not talking about something you plug in the wall like a diffuser. I'm talking about something that has a scent of like rainforest crunch or double apple pie or blueberry sundae, right? So when you put that in an atmosphere of like a grooming shop, trust me, everybody can smell wet dog apple pie sundae or wet dog double blueberry crunch, right? So you're not deodorizing your room, you're actually reodorizing it and just giving it a different stank, okay? And those plugins, I don't remember what the year, I didn't write it down, but the National Resources Defense Council actually tested some of those, and 12 out of the 14 that they tested contained phthalates. So if you don't know what phthalates are, I'm going to spell it for you so you can go Google it because it takes a lot of time to explain it, but no, it's not good for you. So it's PHTHALATES. So if somebody comes, they don't know what it is, if somebody could type it in there for them. So basically it's like, are you reodorizing your home, your shop, whatever? Are you just making like your house smell like, I don't know, Jack Frost litter box combo, you know, you still smell the cat pee kind of thing, right? You need to deodorize, not reodorize. So as a groomer, most people say, you have like a really cool job. You just like give dogs baths and they just love it and they give you kisses and they wag their tails and they're just so happy. Okay, if you're a groomer, you know that's not how it happens, right? You know, they literally put all 4 feet on the edge of the tub. They're like, no, I'm not going in. They turn into rubber plastic dogs where, you know, they can take their nose and touch the tip of their tail and just do things that most dogs can't normally do on an everyday basis. I've had dogs be on the table when you're cutting their nails. They like hide one arm. Like, no, you're not going to find it. I'm like, dude, I know you have 4 feet. Like, give it to me. Oh, we need to mute everybody. Mute. Okay, back on track. Here we go. So these dogs are trying to, I actually felt in the beginning, they were fighting for their lives. They needed to get out. They didn't want to be in the shampoo. They didn't be around me scrubbing them or going near their butt where there might be things hanging that mom and dad couldn't get to. So let's save it for the groomer in 3 weeks kind of thing. Or, oh my God, the nails are so long, but Fluffy's going to the groomer in 3 weeks. They can wait. Guys, these are your children, okay? For most of us, these are my children. So whether you're a home groomer, meaning you take care of your own dogs, or you're a professional groomer, there's like different kinds of shampoos for both. There's not much difference, just different labeling, because we are a sucker for a nice label. Nice bright colors, maybe some purple shampoo, the words brighteners, lighteners, gentle, what's the other word? Botanical. Like there's so many great words. And then you make like a collector's edition, you know, like how many groomers out there know there's like a special shampoo or a special cologne that comes out once a year and costs like $75 a bottle, and the shampoo that goes with it? Like there's a lot of these things out there. So when you look at labels, there's the front, which is all fancy, but then there's the back, which kind of sometimes tells you a little bit more of a story. I will say oftentimes dog shampoos and human shampoos, they don't always have much of a back page, right? Their backside, the back label, can be full of fluff and no ingredients. Put it back on the shelf. If there's no ingredient on your label and it takes more than a couple clicks online to find your ingredients, they're definitely hiding even more than what they normally can hide, right? So what you have to keep in mind is that the Food and Drug Administration, they regulate cosmetics, the shampoos and stuff like that. So cosmetics don't need to prove any of its claim. So like on a pet shampoo, it could say it's tearless, it's extra gentle, it's for puppies. They don't have to prove any of that, okay? They do not need to do that. That is not required by law to do that. And when you flip over the back and you see ingredients in there like sodium lauryl sulfate, well, those are known irritants and are known to contain formaldehyde components. But yet it's so okay for the FDA to be like, it's okay, that's just the way it is, it's fine, it's shampoo, it's good, right? So what you don't always know is sodium lauryl sulfate, PEG 80, right? Ever hear of that, PEG 80? Those are a kind of product that when they're added into a shampoo, they actually, unless they're like processed a very certain way, they actually contain the 1,4-dioxane, okay, which has been like, the US government knows it's a carcinogen, but when they're added to the shampoos, you know, they're not an added ingredient. It's I don't want to call it off-gassing. It's a byproduct of what the product is. So it doesn't even need to be on the label because it's not put in. It becomes part of it through the process, okay? And that's legal by law, okay? And it's just like a contaminant, I guess you can say, of the manufacturing product. So it's not an ingredient. And that's okay by our government standards to have that. So they legally don't have to tell you every ingredient that's on the label. And that goes the same thing as true. I made these little flip cards. Let's see if I can do this. When you look at the label and say you flip over the back, well, the front says something like it's a super concentrate. And one of the products inside of the ingredient is urea. Right side face. Okay. So urea, so these are for my notes too, but I wanted you guys to see the word urea. It increases your risk and the dogs in your care. They increase the risk of contact dermatitis. Okay? It It releases formaldehyde, which again, like I just said, it's a known carcinogen, and it slightly alters skin's structure, okay? And when it does that, it possibly allows other chemicals to penetrate deeper into the skin. Your skin, the dog's skin. If you don't care about yourself, maybe care about the dog in your care, or your own dog, you know? So, and this is also true of your shampoo for yourself. So you're getting little bits of exposure all the time. In the movie Stink that I was just watching, they're like, yeah, there could be like, you know, feces or something in water and it stinks. We all know what it smells like, right? But if you just take a little bit of that and put it in a giant amount of water, it could smell like hazelnuts. Disgusting, right? But it's loud. So there's another shampoo, and I give shampoo companies credit who actually put their ingredients on the label, because not all of them do it. One other thing that they use on their label, say like on a botanical one, this actually is this company actually, it's called Botanical Royale, and the number 2 ingredient, number 1 being water, number 2 is sodium lauryl sulfate. Where is the camera? There we go. SLS. SLS for short. It's super cheap. Think it makes suds. It's a degreaser. Some of those dogs that come in, like funky cocker skin, they got some really like just oils on their skin, right? And they're not groomed enough. It's an eye irritant. And if you don't worry about yourself, because we do get splashed, not every dog, remember, like I said, wants to stay in the tub with you. They want to get out. Not with you. You're not in the tub with them. But there's a link to cancer for SLS. No, you can find all this stuff on the internet. You can find good and bad stuff on the internet, whatever you want to find. I always say people that put SLS in their products and then say, oh, it's naturally derived from blah, blah, blah. If it was, you'd write that on your label and you'd be proud of it, okay? SLS is also a known irritant. It's an endocrine disruptor that messes with your hormones for generations to come. Okay, for generations to come. I'm talking breeding dogs and humans, okay? Organ toxicity. Please, please, please read your labels. Please read your labels. In that same botanical blend, one of the last ingredients in it is a dye, D-Y-E. It's man-made, more than likely petroleum, because if it was a red dye that was derived from beets, it would say beet-derived coloring, something like that. It wouldn't just say dye, okay? There's another ingredient, and this one gets me. There's a hypoallergenic tearless product on the market that I used to love, and I loved this shampoo. The number 2 ingredient, number 1 being water, number 2 being ammonium lauryl sulfate, which is just as bad as sodium lauryl sulfate. It's pretty much like in that same category. The next ingredient on this shampoo was sodium lauryl sulfate. So the first ingredient is water. The next 2, so number 2 and number 3, were both cheap surfactants, eye irritants linked to cancer, skin irritant, endocrine disruptor, and organ toxicity. It's known to cause that. So we're putting those top 2 ingredients on our dogs and your hands. If you're the bather or if you're the groomer, whatever, some people bathe 10 dogs a day, some do 2 or 3. So if you're doing 50 dogs a week bathing, do you think it's just a little bit of exposure that's going to add up over time? And then not to mention the other things we're going to talk about next. The number 1 problem I have with shampoos is the word fragrance. And it's not just shampoos. It is everything in our world today. Everything has a smell. You open your cabinets, you open it, well, not me because we got rid of all this stuff. But you walk into a grooming shop and it is tough. It is hard. I can't walk into trade shows. I can't do any of that stuff because chemically it just sends me over the deep end. So I don't know if you know this or not, but the word fragrance can be like 200 different chemicals. They can hide behind what's called trade secret. They can dump any chemical that they want in there and it's okay. Let's use this. Let me correct this before somebody gets me. It's a harsh chemical. Everything in the world is made of chemicals. There's harsh, and then there's man-made and there's synthetic, right? So either your fragrance is going to come from a lavender field or it's going to come from a plant in New Jersey with those little smoke pipes coming out of it, right? So there's two different plants. There's plants that are in the field and plants that are all over the highway in New Jersey. East Coast here, guys, so I don't know much further than that. So back in 86, the National Academy of Sciences noted that 95% of chemicals used in synthetic fragrances were derived from petroleum, crude oil. It's a byproduct. They got to get rid of it somewhere, right? These products are not tested for your safety. They are tested on you on a daily basis, and then you choose with your money to continue testing it on yourself and continue testing it on your animals, or you choose not to. I finally had enough, and I chose not to. So this is probably, let me take a drink before I start talking about this. Just talking about this makes my throat close, literally. Spray perfumes, quick dries, leave-on sprays to help condition a coat. What are you doing in a grooming shop? Most groomers do not just use a little hair dryer to blow dry dogs. We use a fast velocity dryer, and it actually, from the skin, like the hair comes off the skin, it actually goes from the skin and shoots the water off the hair. So it's not blow drying it, it's velocity drying, which takes the water right off from the skin, out the hair, and it just goes off. And it vaporizes in the air. Now, I didn't tell you guys this, but I was mobile, so I worked inside a Ford E250 van with a camper top. I was in a very small area. From arm to arm, like, I could touch the windows and the door. I can touch everything, which was awesome because you didn't have that much to clean up. But in small spaces like this, I was vaporizing the quick dry, the leave-on conditioners, and I chronically had a sore throat. I chronically had red eyes. I never had like infections, but I had really, really messed up sinuses and nasal passages, and even ear infections, because honestly, when the dogs would wag their tail, sometimes it would go right in my ear. I have no idea how it ever happened, but it always happened. So these perfumes, these sprays, just to make the dog look good or groom faster, because time is money, right? Caused me health problems that I didn't even see. I didn't even notice it until one day, somebody said to me, that expensive shampoo that you're using, because it was like $75 a gallon, is making my dog itch. Can you give her something else? And I'm like, oh, it costs like $75. How could that be bad? It smells so good. And then I start putting the pieces together. It didn't smell good. It was actually making me sick too. That poor dog had allergies to everything on the planet. So long story short, that made me start to think. And I already knew about how bad fabric softeners were in my own home and stuff like that, but I never really thought of it for grooming because that was just something different. So my challenge to you is, everybody who's on the call, like, what products are you using? Do you know what's actually in there? So you may love your oils, but you still might be grooming with Esprit or Davis or whatever your company of choice is. Read your labels. I challenge you to find out what's actually in these things, first of all. So that's my challenge to you, number one. Look at what's in there. We're going to talk about your options because, like I said, where you spend your money really, really honestly matters. It really does. It makes a huge difference because what you can do with Young Living, you can kick all those harsh chemicals right to the curb. You don't need any of them. You literally can get rid of them. You can throw them away. I took hundreds, if not thousands of dollars worth of products out of our life and got rid of them. Killed me, but I did it. Because when you know better, you can do better. So the first product I want to talk about with Young Living, because I want to show you how to do better now that you know better, is the Animal Sun shampoo. So this is where I'm going to get techie and try to run a video for you guys. So this product, super, super, super concentrated. Okay. So the most common question I get is, how much do I use? And I say, not very much. I'm going to show you this video. Fingers crossed if I can do this and not lose everybody. Let's see here. Let me share screen. Share the video. And it's about a minute long. So let's see if I can do this. And play. I'm going to put the plug in, some water. This is in my van. I'm going to show you how little shampoo you actually need to use of the animal. Now she's got a pretty good length for a Pekingese. Put some water in. See if I can show you how much I'll use for her. I don't know if you can see it. That's it. Put it in the water. And I actually have a pump. I use a submergible pump recirculating device. I'll show you how it works. Hopefully you can hear me with all the stuff happening. Very light stuff. Probably any stuff. We get down in there. Sadie hasn't been feeling good. So, yeah, those are all knots on our backside. But you can see this is getting down deep into our coat. Doesn't take a lot of water or a lot of shampoo. And it gets down in there heavy. And it's kind of like this glass. The dirt from the skin. All right. That's enough of that. So, hopefully that helps a lot of people understand better about how much product to use, because you don't need to use a lot. You saw that was maybe 1/8 of a teaspoon, maybe. Do you have some? Okay, yeah, we're gonna get all to these questions at the end. So, yes, I'm not gonna look at the questions now because it's gonna totally distract me. Okay, I'm gonna hide them. Okay, so this Young Living shampoo is all I use to groom now. And mind you, I'm not doing a lot of dogs anymore. But when I first stopped grooming back in 2014, I was exclusively using this. And this is 8 ounces. And if you're using only 1/8 of a teaspoon at a time, it really does go a long way. And I did post in our event a picture of what I use for my recirculating pump. It costs like $100 to make. Super, super, super easy. It's literally a submergible pump, and then you put a hose on it. Easy, easy, easy. No big deal at all. Add your shampoo to the water, resubmerges, and it mixes it up and cleans the coat super easy and super well. So I do not rinse the dog. I then take a little bit, and I'm talking a ribbon about that long, of Young Living lavender conditioner, and I actually rub it in my hands and I go over the coat. Right, just to get it on her. And then I do take that same water, I don't change my water, and I go over her again, and that takes the shampoo and the conditioner, and it conditions the hair. So a ribbon that amount, I use the same amount for my hair that I use for her. You can put it in the water, or you can get like a big 30-ounce container, an empty container, add 20 ounces or so of water, throw a little ribbon of conditioner in there, shake it up and go over the dog and rub it in. I find when you rub in like this, you're causing more of a mess, and you don't want to do that. So I use Animal Sense shampoo strictly and the lavender conditioner. That's what I find works for me. I do believe there's a million products on the market that, like I said, they sell you a whitener, a brightener, a blueberry this, or, you know, an oatmeal this, or blah. This does everything. There is nothing that this cannot do. I have yet to find something this can't do. Works awesome. You can use it on horses. You can use it on cats. I actually have like this super popular video. I gave my my guinea pig a bath in this, and I got more hits on that. But that video of Sadie, I actually have an 8-minute long video of me blow drying. You can actually see where the mats are. You can see how they come out and how easy it is to finish. So I will post that later in the group for y'all to read. So you can actually supercharge all of your shampoos if you choose to by when I put the shampoo in my hand, I then take the oil and drip it in my hand and then put it under the water. So oils like purification, that's awesome for any kind of odor neutralizing. It's also really good to make your place smell like a spa. So if every single dog got Animal Sense shampoo and purification, though you're only limited to 1 little bottle a month now, you know, the place would smell like a most amazing spa. That or Stress Away. I use Stress Away a lot in the shampoo. One, I have found it's really good for the hair, really good for you, and it really helps soothe the dogs. I'm not going to say there's a magic potion for soothing all dogs, especially in a grooming shop. They think the parents dumped them off and they're putting them in jail and they don't love it. But in the end, for me, it was about grooming as fast as possible. I groomed 1 dog at a time, brought it back in the house, and I drove to the next one. So the more stress away, more valor, more peace and calming that you get either in the tub or in the air, the better. The other oil that I love to put in the animal scent shampoo, it's so hard to say sometimes, is copaiba. So I just love copaiba because it's amazing for the skin in every way. So is it Infect Away and Mend Well. Now those are special Young Living ones that are formulated for pets. So it's the Animal Sense line, Infect Away, Animal Sense line, Mend Well. Both amazing. If you look at the names, Infect Away has something to do with infect and away. And then Mend Well, mend very well, right? So when you use those in conjunction with your shampoo in the tub, it really helps the skin and it helps your hands. It's very soothing. It's just good for everything. So if you're going to take one tip away, this is going to be my number one tip for y'all. Groomers must have Citrus Fresh and Purification on hand at all times. That mixing bottle I was telling you about, that little 20, 30 ounce empty mixing bottle, you can get them from any beauty supply shop. You're going to fill that good halfway, put in some Citrus Fresh and or Purification. These dogs that come in smelling like cigarette smoke, in cigars, whatever, smoke, right? You can wash them 27 times and they still smell like smoke. I can taste it just thinking about it. So what happens is you think you got them clean and then you put them on the table and then you smell the smoke all over again. So using the dogs in the tub, right? So you take the bottle with your Citrus Fresh in it and your Purification in about 20 ounces of water. You're going to probably use about 6 or 10 drops. I use a lot for this. Shake it up really, really good and then go over the whole dog. You want to just work it in everywhere, avoiding the eyes, but taking care of the face and the whole body. Let it sit for about 20 seconds and then rinse. Because remember, groomers, our time is money. We don't have all the time to give the dog a perm, right? So when you're doing that, that helps neutralize the smoke smell on the coat. So then you rinse and then you put the dog on the table and you force dry and the smell is gone. And that will change the entire smell of your place. I've told this trick to countless groomers and they are shocked that they never thought of it. Now, does it always work for skunk? No. But it helps. Skunk is another topic whatsoever. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to talk about is diffusing in a grooming shop. So vitally important. One, you want your place to smell amazing. You don't want it to smell like wet dog blueberry crumble like those plugins want, but you want stuff that's going to neutralize. For me, I love no smell. I wanted no smell to come out of my van, and if somebody said, oh, what's that smell? I'm like, oh my God, I got work to do. So get some Thieves out there. Get something, Thieves Purification. I like even clarity in the diffuser in my grooming shop. I want everybody to think clearly, okay? I want you to communicate with me the kind of haircut you want. I want to communicate that you're going to come and pick up the dog before I close because I don't want to charge you, for a babysitting fee kind of thing. Thankfully, like I said, I was lucky. I was mobile and I didn't have to worry about that anymore. But yes, diffusers are completely safe for cats if you're using Young Living. If you're not using Young Living, then I don't know what to tell you. This is Young Living we're talking about. My cats love it. So I love also diffusing Valor or wearing Valor on myself. Valor gives the dogs confidence, courage. My own personal dogs, when we go to a new vet appointment and they tremble, they get scared. I whip out the Valor, put some Valor on and let them just absorb the Valor and she settles within seconds, not even minutes, seconds. I leave that open bottle out. So it's something, if you have those nervous dogs, if you can get to them before they totally start freaking out, some Valor, some peace and calming in the diffuser. I have a video that we diffused in a kennel for about 90 minutes and the whole kennel energy just went right down to calm. And that's what you want, is a calm mind. Purification, stress away. Those are also the 4 that I've really used in the grooming shop. 5, sorry. Clarity, Valor, peace and calming, purification, stress away. Huge, huge. Makes a big difference. When those thunderstorms come running in, remember I said I'm mobile, so I'm really out in nature. I literally can slather myself with stress away. And there are times when you actually have to stop grooming because it's not safe to be using sharp scissors around dogs that may be a little scared of thunder or jumping. You know, the last thing you want to do is cut them, right? So a little bit of music, a little bit of stress away, keep the radio loud, and keep the oils running. That's how we get through thunderstorms. And it works really, really, really well. Before we get into that, I want to talk a little bit about self-care. So vitally important for groomers. It's something that is not talked enough about. We will bend and contort ourselves to make sure these dogs in our care are good, okay? We need to be seeing a chiropractor. We need to be using oils ourselves. We need to be putting oils on our spine. We need to be putting them on our hands. We need to be putting them anywhere that we bend and move and contort ourselves. Our neck is an awesome place to apply them. Our brain needs it, so breathe them in. Start your day in between each dog. Breathe your oils in. But please, please do yourself a favor and don't make a chiropractic appointment once a month. You got to go every couple weeks. And it just is going to save you. I see some bunch of DCs on here. I love that. It's just so important. It really, really, really is. And groomers are notorious for eating on the fly. We could care less about dog hair. We will eat on our grooming table. It's totally cool. It's not a big deal. Change the towel, blow the hair off. We're good. Please pack yourself something nutritious through the day, even if it's some nuts, or Young Living makes these really cool shakes and they taste really good. More the chocolate tastes really good if it's like warm water, you know, because being mobile, I only know how to do stuff on the go. You know, I'm all about what can I pack in a little bag to the course of the day. Ninja Red, vital for groomers, keeps your antioxidants, just keeps everything up, but it keeps your energy up, but you're feeding your body food, not junk on the go. You don't need to stop at a gas station and get, you know, one of those cans of whatever they are. I don't even know anymore. We have Zing, though being mobile, that's a little hard one to tolerate because it makes you pee. So, you know, get your shakes or, you know, put your oils in your water, okay? But use your oils. Put them on your feet if you start to feel like you need a foot massage in the middle of the day. You know what I mean? Put your oils on your feet and your back and get adjusted. So, I didn't talk about this one. So the other thing, I wanted to make sure I talked about self-care because I saw a lot of you guys on here. I'd be in trouble if I didn't. So one thing I want to talk about is when I first started grooming, the person that I worked for, we were given a stack of towels, and that was our stack of towels for the week. So we put the towels over the kennels to let them dry, and we'd use them again the next day, and the next day, and the next day. It's disgusting. So some of those dogs that smelled like smoke might be on the towel. That was hard to work with. So when Young Living launched the Thieves line of laundry detergent, my world changed because I used to make my own, like the witch's brew, like totally just stirring it up and melting this and mixing this and carrying a 5-gallon pail, and it was a mess, right? Total mess. So when Young Living launched this, my life was like, yeah, this is awesome. It works so good on towels for grooming. I have dogs that like pee on everything and they don't care. But I will say you do need to add to it. I put in white vinegar in the bleach component on my washing machine, and on the fabric softener component, I put in Epsom salts with peppermint. And that's what I use to wash everything. It just takes the nastiness off. Even like now when I groom, I might groom on a Monday and a Thursday, and I won't wash towels on Monday. I'll wash them after Thursday. But those bottom towels, groomers, you know, the bottom towels get hot, right? So we're going to ask all questions after because otherwise it's like totally distracting for me. So those bottom towels get like hot and it's just like stanky hot. So you can wash them all and use the Thieves laundry. If you want to add a boost of the Thieves cleaner, throw a little boost of the Thieves cleaner in there, a capful or something that make me for the nasty days. I always say if the towel's that nasty, throw it out. Make friends with hotel owners. They'll give you old towels. Like, they'll be happy to give it to you. Don't worry about throwing towels out. So Thieves cleaner is what I use to clean everything and anything. And when I start telling you some of the stuff I do with this, you're going to be quite impressed. When I talk about having a very low product selection in my van, I'm talking about using those few oils, the shampoo, and thieves cleaner. I didn't mention an ear cleaner because I have thieves cleaner. So I use my thieves cleaner at a 1 ounce per 30 ounce, and I use that to clean everything. I use that to get the soap off of the inside of the tub. If there's a little ring around the tub, some dogs leave ring around the tub. I use that on the walls if they're dirty. Sometimes you cut nails too close and they bleed, and sometimes the dog flings their foot and blood just makes a trail. I'm just being honest, this is groomer's life here. This will get everything out. It gets it off of me, it gets it off of them. If I cut a nail too short and it starts to bleed when I'm blow drying, I can spray the nail, I can clean the foot hair off, towel it, and blow dry it again. It does everything. I can spray some of that on a cotton ball. So I'm just saying I spray it on cotton balls for compliance reasons. I just spray cotton balls. But oftentimes I clean dogs' ears with cotton balls. So it cleans everything. It takes care of everything. Another really cool topic that Young Living has, and I couldn't find mine, is the Animal Sense ointment. So I want to make this clear. The new one is vegan friendly, has no animal products in it, but it's as hard as a rock. When you get it, like you push on it, it doesn't budge, like a little bit comes off. So what you need to do is like grab a fork or something. As you guys can tell, I'm so prepared. You grab a fork, because this is a fork, right? So you grab a fork and you scrape the ointment. Do like tic-tac-toe. Keep going every direction, and it will loosen up. And you kind of like fluff it, and it turns into this buttery, soft, amazing product that is so good for animal paws, groomers' elbows, groomers' cuticles. You can use it as a lip balm if you want. I love it on pug noses, because I'm a pug person, and I probably was like the local pug groomer. I groomed so many pugs. It was crazy. I'm the pug nail wrangler I'm known for. But their little noses, if they have that big roll, what I actually do is use that same cotton that I was telling you, those cotton balls, and I wipe and clean the inside of their nose with cotton. And when it's done and it's clean, I'll go over it, pat it dry with some more cotton, and then I take my Animal Sense ointment, I mean a tiny bit, hardly noticeable amount, just put it in there. I'm not going to fix or cure or treat anything, but I'm taking care of the skin and washing the crud away, right? But it's really, really good for your cuticles, because our hands can get really trashed, our knuckles can get really trashed, and this ointment is just so good and it's soothing for your skin. You can do it in between dogs, before your day or at the end of the day. It does leave a little, it's not stickiness, but it leaves a little oily texture to you. And it's really, really good if you do paw manicures, and like say you just do a manicure, maybe you want a rough edge shepherd foot, or even any dog, a cocker or somebody that has some rough feet. It's great to massage these in. It really is soothing and hydrating. One thing I want to make clear is I never, ever apply straight oils to a dog's foot. That is my opinion. And if you're trained properly how to do that, feel free. But if you're not trained properly how to apply oils to a dog's foot, I would suggest you throw some oils in your armpit. Let me know how it feels. And that's probably how it would feel for the dog. That's another thing I get really into. Okay. So the next thing we're going to talk about is our insect repellent by Young Living. This stuff is amazing. Now, it is not labeled for animal use, but I'm saying that it has been tested to repel fleas, ticks, and mosquitoes. I think that's kind of important. So why is this important in a grooming shop? Well, if you don't want to use a perfume, this could be a good thing to put a little bit, 2-3 drops on your hands, put a little protecting on there for the dog. Smells amazing. And it's really good if you bring your own dogs to work and you want to protect your own dogs, right? So the oils that are in it are citronella, lemongrass, geranium, spearmint, thyme, clove, sesame seed oil, and vitamin E. So sesame oil is the carrier. Excuse me. Is the carrier. So it is a little bit thicker. It's not just like maybe our Repel Aroma or something like that. It's a little bit thicker. And I love this. But no, a little bit goes a long way. I think the bottle is like 6 or 7 ounces. And I'm going, this year coming up that we just finished was our 2nd year with the same bottle. So a little bit goes a long way. The other thing that's really important for us in our home and in our grooming shop are the baby wipes. And the best thing I can say is dogs have backsides too, right? So if you need to do something to a dog's backside, these things are great little catchers. They handle things well. It's also really good to wipe down muddy paws. This time of year in New York, everything is mud. And when my dogs come in, I cut one in half and I wipe their undersides off because it just pulls all the mud off of them. And I actually used to use this in the grooming shop. I cut it into strips, and you can use it to wipe the inside of an ear out too, because some pet owners don't do that. So your own hands. Groomers' hands are usually the worst. They're so dry, they're so red. But when you stop using all those products that we talked about before, that usually clears up. But Young Living has a whole line. And this was one of the first products, and the first product that I shared with grooming friends of mine, because when they try this, they're like, oh my God, this is amazing. So if you're looking to gift a groomer something for the holidays, lavender lotion would be my first go-to. I never really thought of that before, but I really think with the holidays coming up, every groomer would appreciate this. So quick order, buy it on Friday, whatever you got to do. It's moisturizing and hydrating. Having lavender soap, lavender oil, really, really good in the grooming shop. The hand purifier that you choose to use should be Young Living, because that alcohol base with the oils, so good, because we denature the alcohol so it's not poisoning the animals. So when you go to petting zoos and stuff like that, when you're using a hand sanitizer, when you put it on your hand and you just glue it all over and you go pet the sheep, that's being transferred to them. And if there's fragrance on it, that's being transferred to them also. So be mindful of what you're purchasing. So again, it's your turn to make a choice. See what shampoos, what conditioners, what products you're using and how you're using them to make a choice, because it really does matter. And the cool part about Young Living, it's all about product upgrading. We're not asking you to change the way you do things. We're just asking you to read the labels and make better decisions. And you're doing it for you, you're doing it for your family, and you're doing it for every dog that's in your care. And when you do that, the coolest part about Young Living is that you can actually teach your clients about these products, not only helping their dogs, but helping the humans, and actually could possibly change their life. If you explain to them that this is a network marketing company and you're proud of it, and tell them, listen, these products, if you refer these and you help other people, they're actually going to be another stream of income for you. And I retired myself from the job that I loved the most. I started way late in my life as a dog groomer, but I started, and this is the first product I was introduced to way long time ago. I wish the person who introduced me to this product alone a long time ago didn't just say it's $18 and sell me a bottle. I wish she told me about the company, because I think it would have made a big difference in my life a long time ago. But we take it when it comes, right? So when we talk to people and we talk to them about these products and how they can change your life, you can easily work this into any conversation with any groomer, because you're showing them how these products have changed your life. And if you do this right, you can actually build an income and build a business and help other people and just continually help other people. I love helping groomers because I see them as an industry that's not being helped. It's being completely overlooked. But groomers are sometimes often very, very hard to get them to change their opinion on products, because when they go to grooming shows, literally there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of bottles of shampoos all loaded with synthetic, harsh chemicals. So do yourself a favor and talk to the person who got you started and ask about sharing Young Living, because it will make a difference in your life. I can promise you that. And because I said that, I probably should be showing you the income disclosure, but I'm not going to make you watch that again. Sorry, guys. I get a certain amount of time, then I start coughing. Okay, so for me, thank you guys so much for joining me. Don't go anywhere. We're going to do a live Q&A. But I just want to wrap this up so that we can save this for later, and then I'll look at all your questions. So thank you so much for joining. If you haven't joined our Facebook group, it's called Essential Oils in a Pet Home. And I run that with Dr. Susan Albright. And we got tons and tons of videos there. So thank you so much for joining us, and hold tight.